It's Platt, and today we head to the Diamond State. That's next to Platt's Beer of the Week. So the particular beer we're going to try today comes to us from Diamond Bear Brewing. It is their Southern Blonde. A little background on Diamond Bear Brewing. Diamond Bear Brewing is located in North Little Rock, Arkansas. It was founded in 2000, and it's actually Arkansas's oldest continuing production brewery, which is kind of amazing to think, only 20 years. But a lot of those southern states were really late to the party as far as the whole microbrewery brew pub thing. And so it's nice to see that some have actually survived down there. The liquor laws in a lot of those states are just absolutely insane. But good for Diamond Bear. Diamond Bear has a tap room, pub, and production facility all under one roof. That roof is actually in a former garage. And the pub itself is dog friendly. That's a great trend I've seen the last few years in brew pubs and whatever is dog friendly. Dog beer festivals we talked about before. Real glad that the local health departments have kind of chilled out and allowed that to happen. Another trend I've also seen, though, is breweries in garages. Remember a few years back going to the Great American Beer Festival in Denver, we hit a little neighborhood brewery that was in an old oil change garage. And actually talking to the owner, it makes a lot of sense using your garage as a brewery. The garages, are big enough. They have high enough ceilings where you can get in bigger fermentation tanks. They're kind of built, in an industrial sense as far as having higher gauge, electrical wiring, gauge for higher voltage, stuff like that. Also, to the front desk, little waiting room area always kind of makes for a perfect little tasting room. So it works out. I've always thought that was just, a neat look. Also, too, a lot of times you have those sliding doors, those big doors. So again, if you want to move in and out equipment, large pallets of grain, what have you, makes your life a lot easier. So I've always thought that was a neat kind of design or facility for a brewery. Diamond Bear, the term Diamond Bear comes from Arkansas's two nicknames. Arkansas was originally known as the Bear State up until 1905, and then they found diamonds. Now they're known as the Diamond State, so thus we have Diamond Bear Brewing. One of the things I have to mention about Diamond Bear, just the research I've done on their website and then through social media, not a lot of information, pretty sparse in the information. They really don't tell the backstory. We don't know a lot about the founders. Like I said, fairly sparse. I've had this rant before, but it is a little disappointing. If the folks at Diamond Bear are happening to listen to this, we really would like a little more information, like to get to know the people behind the scenes. It obviously is most important what goes in the class, I understand that, but as far as marketing and connecting with the people, the story is also very important too, and we would just like a little more of that. One of the things I noticed is on the website, they mention winning awards. We've won a lot of these awards, but they really don't go into detail. They don't say like, well, we won silver at the 2014 Great American Beer Fest, or we won gold at the 2019 Arkansas Beer Fest, whatever it is. Just, again, kind of flesh out the story a little bit more. We'll quickly go into some of their other beers. They have kind of small range of beers, roughly 8 to 10, which is not a huge variety. I understand for simplicity's sakes, and actually I kind of appreciate that more than, just kind of this unlimited line of beers. You kind of really don't get to nail down recipes if you're always making something new. First is a beer called Fest. It is their Oktoberfest style beer or a Marzen style lager. Next, they have Pigtail Porter, which I tried. Some real nice porter. 6.2% alcohol by volume. It is on the, I'm probably making up a word, on the chocolatier side, if that is a real word. Next, they have a beer called Two Term Double IPA. It's kind of a political in meaning if you see it, but we're not getting into politics here. 9.9% alcohol by volume, so this is definitely a big boy, and at 75 IBUs, they bring you plenty of hop goodness. They have a beer called Little Red Strawberry Lager. It's a low-cal, low-carb beer. From what I gather, it's their most popular beer. And it sounds kind of interesting. A very light strawberry-flavored lager. That I can see on a hot Arkansas day. That sounds pretty nice. And last but not least, Diamond Bear has gotten into the seltzer world. It's just the way things are going these days. They have a lime flavored, a mango peach, raspberry lemonade, and wild berry hard seltzers. So if you're ever down there but want something different or not with a beer drinker, that's always an option. Well, before we try this beer, though, let's check out the stats. So if you've been watching over the last few weeks, I've been, in my Platt's Beer of the Week, I've been reviewing different books that would make great stocking stuffers for the beer lover in your life. And this week I have another book for you. It's called Tasting Beer. It comes to us from Randy Mosier. We've reviewed one of Randy's books before. He's one of the preeminent beer writers of our time, in there with the Michael Jacksons of the world. Not that Michael Jackson, of course. But anyway, this book, Tasting Beer, is a little different than some of the other books I've reviewed lately. It really doesn't go into brewing beer. This is more about tasting beer, the different styles, a little history, beer and food pairings. This is great for if you want to get your Cicerone certification. Now, a lot of people out there may not know what Cicerone certification is. What it basically is the beer world's equivalent to sommeliers. If you ever go to a fancy high-end steakhouse, restaurant, or wherever, and you want a nice bottle of wine, the waiter may bring out the sommelier, who is their wine expert. He's the one that will order all their wine, inventory all the wine, train the staff on the wine. If guests are wanting some recommendation, he's the guy that go out to the table, what have you. Sommeliers have been around forever, for a long time. Cicerones are kind of new. Again, they're the beer world's equivalent. Sommeliers, there's 3 levels of sommeliers. Cicerones 3 to 4, it's a little different. The first level is called Cicerone Certified Beer Server. That's what I am. I did mine, probably 3 or 4 years ago now at least. Then they have a couple of different levels. They do have kind of a separate category for beer handlers. Like if you work in a liquor store, you're handling beer at different points in the supply chain, things like temperature, sunlight, this, that, and the other. It kind of more specializes in the handling of beer. And then, of course, they have a master level Cicerone, just like you would a master level sommelier. If you're in the bar business, wanting to get in the bar business, even if you're a server, but you work at one of these brew pubs or a place like Yard House, whatever, a lot of these places now are encouraging, even forcing some employees, probably the bartenders, to get their Cicerone certification. So if you're wanting to get that, you definitely want this book because it's a course. You'll do an online course, but then there's also an exam you got to take or whatever. And again, this will just get you sharp on the topic of the different styles and different ways those beer styles are made and how the taste gets affected by that brewing. And really good book, Tasting Beer by Randy Mosier. Well, let's taste some beer right now and try the Southern Blonde from Diamond Bear Brewing. All right, we got a nice, thick, light, creamy head. The beer's got a slight haze to it, and I don't know, I might have a dirty glass or whatever. That's always possible, but a little haze to it. Seems to be plenty of effervescence. Nose, just a hint of malt, not a lot there on the nose. Let's give her a try. That's just a nice, easy sipping beer, typical of the blonde ale style. I've always recommended these beers as if you're wanting to get your friends out of the Miller Lite, Bud Light mode. A blonde ale is probably one of the more logical progressions, instead of jumping them into stouts or double IPAs or what have you. Yeah, this is real subtle, little on the lighter bodied end, in my opinion, on some of the blonde ales. One thing I like about blonde ales, again, is kind of an alternative to your Miller Lite, Bud Lights, is usually they're a little more viscous, a little more body to them. This seems to be on the lighter bodied end. The beer's fairly balanced though. Some blonde ales I've had, again, with that extra body, sometimes you get extra maltiness, a little extra sweetness. This beer is a little more balanced in that sense. Hops aren't really that present, but again, it's balanced beer, so the hops are doing their jobs. Overall, a nice beer. I'm not going to say I'd go out of my way to get it, but if I was at Diamond Bear and it was a hot day and I was like, man, I want something simple, this would not be a bad choice. Yeah, overall, well executed. And now that I think about, probably fits their clientele probably a little better than their south. The temperature's warmer. Again, they're a little behind the curve on the craft beer thing, it appears. So you probably don't want to get too extravagant with some of these flavors and styles and stuff. So overall, well, decently executed beer. Well, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please subscribe down below. Also, please like the video because it lets YouTube know we're putting out good content. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or beers that you would like me to try, please leave them in the comment section, or you can always contact me on the Twitter page. Till next time, bottoms up.